Good morning, Barcelona. Welcome to Thursday in English Radio on RKB 106.9 FM. I'm Virgil, still and always, and I welcome you to Darwin Day, which celebrates the life and works of the great British scientist Charles Darwin, whose research in the field of biology gave us insights into the diversity of life on Earth and in our own origins. Much as what Darwin talked about, he dealt with the struggles with the Church of England over his work, and we see that much of his discoveries in terms of fighting the biological impacts of his day really look at a similar struggle we're having today with some of the viruses and diseases we're facing. And it's also really brought to fore the importance of research on our own health and survival. So joining us today to talk about this issue are Dr. Irene Ghobrial of Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and Dr. Karen Winkfield of the Meharry Vanderbilt Alliance, both of whom are engaged in ways to help catalyze an innovative research. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Virgil.
Well, both of you are engaged in enhancing the necessity and opportunities for people to participate in clinical research studies. Why is that important? And I'll ask both of you to give me your answers on it.
Well, first of all, we're so grateful to have an opportunity to talk about this important topic. As you've mentioned, clinical research is really the way to move healthcare forward. People are living longer around the world because of healthcare innovations. And many of those products were developed during clinical research, new medications, diagnostic tests, devices and procedures. And despite their importance in terms of driving change, only a small percentage of individuals who are eligible to participate actually do. And so, you might be aware in the United States, the percentage of non-white individuals who participate is even lower.
Right.
And so it's so important. And I know that Dr. Ghobrial and I both agree that we want to ensure everyone who is eligible to participate in clinical research has the opportunity to do so. It can provide access to cutting edge therapy, but also helps to make sure that the innovations that are coming forward, those health innovations, are beneficial to everyone, regardless of who they are and what their background is.
Well, I think the thing is, Dr. Ghobrial, I ask you this, in terms of research, oftentimes people are reluctant to participate because they think, well, I'm going to be a guinea pig and people are going to experiment on me. What's the reality of research?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such just like Karen said, we are always so excited about the research because there's so much that goes into it and understanding preclinically, is it safe or not? Then we go all the way to clinical trials. By the time we have it in humans, there has been so much work done to make sure of safety and efficacy is being tested. And I can tell you as a physician, but also as a patient, what an exciting time for us to get access to something new before it gets approved. And actually, most of us will say, I would love to get access to that early as possible. Get me in, because that's the way to move forward. And it's true what Karen said, it's only by clinical research that we can advance, that we can move forward, that we can get to the next level. And I wish we can even go faster in FDA approval, but it's only by every one of us trusting it that this could be the best thing for me, that this could be giving me access to something that's not there yet, and using it as an opportunity rather than thinking of it as an experiment. There are so many different levels of clinical trials. There are phase 1, which are first in human, experimental, but there are phase 2s and phase 3s where we know everything about the drug. We are not testing it for the first time, but we're asking questions about, do we have a higher response in this population? Do we have better data in this population? And this is just giving us better access. So ask your doctor, ask us all the questions you want to have the knowledge, because truly knowledge is power to make your decisions.
But you brought up an interesting point. You're saying trust. We've seen the issues, and a lot of things are written about trust in terms of the abuse of the medical system. Going way back, we had the Tuskegee Institute's syphilis studies. We've seen recently the fact that the Boston nurses study, we looked at the differences in uptakes there based upon populations. And even now we're seeing with COVID, not all populations are getting the vaccine or access to the vaccine on an equal basis. So how do we deal with this issue of trust? How do we get past and be able to say, okay, I believe in what you're saying, I believe in the concept, why should I trust you?
Yeah. That's a long conversation that we could have, but I must say, it's a really important one, right? So the mistrust is really one of the challenges with respect to engaging people in not only clinical research, but clinical care, frankly. To your point, the medical systems unfortunately have done things to engender mistrust in certain populations, not just Blacks, but you look at what's happened in Native American, American Indian population, Hispanic populations. And so it's really important, number one, that there's acknowledgement, first of all, of some of these things. I can tell you there are still people who are denying the fact that some of these things happened.
Yes.
And its impact, well, long-standing impact in communities and communities of color in particular. So that's the first step. But then the other one is like just being present. You have to be in communities, you have to be engaged in communities, not because you want something, not because you want them to participate in a clinical study, but because they're important to you. You value them. And I oftentimes will tell big institutions, start at home. Your community starts right inside, right in those doors. And so if you have individuals from different backgrounds and they are feeling as if they're not included, that you are not interested or invested in them, that word is going to spread in the community surrounding that institution. So, we always think about charity begins at home. And it's true. And that's one way to build trust, particularly for these very large institutions that may employ lots of individuals from diverse backgrounds. Treat your people well and make sure they're well taken care of. And that word will spread. And that helps to engender trust.
Absolutely. Well, we'd like to talk some more with our guest in just a few minutes.